If you have an incessant inner critical voice that just won't shut up, this video is for you. Hi, I'm Nina Vasquez. I'm a trauma-informed life coach, and I am also a childhood trauma abuse survivor. And the biggest thing I had to overcome was this toxic inner critic. This inner critic that would not be quiet. The thing is, she wasn't making me feel any better than I was feeling already. And it was like I was depressed and then she was just kicking me while I'm down. So if this sounds like you, this video is for you. In this video, I want to teach you two things. Number one, I want to teach you how to understand your inner critic. And number two, how to get rid of her, or you could think of it as integrating her, integrating that inner critic with yourself and developing a more compassionate inner voice, I should say. But first, let's understand her. Let's understand why. So why do you have an inner critic? At some point in your life, you develop an inner critic, some inner being, that part of you that started to criticize you so you could become what you needed to be to survive. For example, maybe you were too loud in your house and you got in trouble when you were loud. So this inner critic would tell you you're too much or you're too loud, so be quiet, and you would just follow suit. If you didn't get attention when you were little, maybe this inner critic developed to get you to do things to get attention. And so this inner critic, while it might have been trying to protect you before, and it's still trying to protect you now, it's just misguided. It doesn't realize that as it's or she or he, whatever you identify it as, is trying to protect you, it's actually keeping you from the life you want. It's actually keeping you from getting results that you want and creating a life that you want. So I have this board to prove that to you. So everything in our life can come down to one of these five things: our circumstances, our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, and our results. All right. So I'm just using this as an example. One of the examples is I have weight loss clients. So with weight loss or any goal, whether it's financial goal, weight loss goal, family goal, whatever goal you have, we often have an inner critic that is holding us back. So in the circumstance, we would just put I weigh X. You'd fill in your weight there. And then if weight doesn't resonate with you, I have another idea. I don't follow through on X, or I don't do what I didn't do what I said I was going to do. So our thoughts are given to us by this inner critic voice, and she thinks she's serving you. But here's what actually happens. You think a thought, I'm so undisciplined, fat, loud, etc. Fill in the blank. I'm so whatever. I'm so, and then sometimes it sounds like like somebody else is actually talking to you. Maybe it's a grandparent, caregiver, like you're so lazy, you're so fat, you're not normal, whatever those thoughts are. So your thoughts create a feeling. Most of the time it's shame. It could be guilt or regret or some of these low vibrational emotions, but most of the time it's shame. And our feelings drive our actions. So when we feel shame or guilt, we do some things like self-sabotaging behaviors. We criticize ourselves more. We compare ourselves to others. We judge ourselves. We overeat or binge. We numb out on something like social media or Netflix or alcohol or whatever it is we want to do to check out because we just can't get ourselves to do what we said we would do, and we're not the person we want ourselves to be. We only see the gap. So with a lot of my clients, they'll get on the call and they'll say, I just can't get myself to go to the gym 5 days a week. And they forget to say, I went 4 times or I went 3 this week. That self-critical voice can only see the gap, never the gain, never focuses on what's going well. And so we don't treat ourselves well. Sometimes some people do the opposite of this. They don't feed themselves well. They don't nourish themselves well. Maybe they withhold love from themselves, withhold nutrition from themselves. And ultimately, our actions create our results, but our actions are driven by our thoughts. And that's the inner critic that's leading the way with these unconscious thoughts. And so ultimately, with these actions and this type of thinking, this inner critic thinking, we keep ourselves from the result we want, from the weight we want, from taking action on things we said we would do, right? So ultimately, you have to come to terms with the fact that the inner critic is no longer creating the results you want. That's number one. Number two, you have to understand that she or he actually does mean well. They really do mean well, but they're misguided. They don't understand that if I tell you this, that you're not going to get the results you want. They want you to get the weight that you want to be at. They want you to get there. They just don't understand this part of you. And in my work with my private clients, we do parts work and inner child work, and it makes a lot more sense. But if you can understand that your thoughts create your results, you'll understand that telling yourself I'm undisciplined or I'm lazy or I'm fat doesn't actually produce the result you want. The first step is really coming to terms with it's really not working anymore. So instead of trying to get rid of the self-critical voice, I want you to accept that part of you, stand that part of you. Say, I see you. I get it. I know you're trying to protect me, right? And now what we can do is we can start interrupting the self-critical voice and start reparenting that self-critical part of us. And teaching the self-critical part, oh, actually, we don't talk to ourselves that way anymore. Here's how we actually talk to ourselves. I'm so glad that you went to the gym 4 days a week this week. You're on your way to hitting 5. Congratulations, you're doing so good. Or you used to overeat and used to binge eat 5 days a week, and now you're only doing it 3. I'm so proud of you. This is how we talk to ourselves. We see the growth, we celebrate the growth, and we use self-compassion. And when we do that, we feel differently. We actually feel better. We feel hopeful. We feel encouraged. And so then we take action from a different place. If we take action from shame, it will be hiding, overeating, numbing, self-sabotage behaviors. So we've got to change the way we feel by changing our thoughts. That way we can show up differently. Now, in real time, here's what I want you to do. I want you to grab a picture of yourself. Like, go do it right now. Go grab a picture of yourself as a kid. This was December of 79. So I was like 3 months. This was September of 86. So I was like 7 years old. So I want you to go and grab, if you don't have a baby picture that you can access, it's okay. You can use something in your imagination, or you can get a picture of one of your children when they were younger, but somewhere in between 0 and 8 years old. And you want to have a picture of yourself, and you want to try to keep it somewhere where you can see it. Because anytime you find yourself, because what you're going to have to do is become aware of this self-critical part and see her in action, or him in action. And you're going to have to be willing to say, oh, no. 8-year-old self or 7-year-old self, we don't talk to ourselves that way anymore. Here's how we do it. And you're going to be what we call thought interrupting. You're going to be interrupting a neural pathway, interrupting the pattern. Neural pathways are like roads. They go like this. And so when you interrupt it, you lay a new track. And the more that you lay that track, that becomes a new pattern. The only reason why you have a self-critical voice that's incessant and she won't go away is because it's a pattern. She's been with you for a long time. So what you're going to do is every time you hear her, you're going to take a couple deep breaths. And if you need, one of the best things to do to stop a thought pattern is to get out of your mind and into your body. So one of the best things to do to stop a thought pattern is get out of your mind and into your body. If you need help with that, I want you to download this right here. This is my 5 favorite somatic practices I use every day, and that will help you to get out of the mind and into the body. Once you get out of the mind and into the body by changing your emotional state, you lay a new track by telling yourself, oh no, we talk to ourselves this way. Here's how I talk to myself now. And sometimes we just need a picture to remind ourselves of what you want to do. Is you want to say, what would I say to my 7-year-old self? What would I say to my 5-year-old self? What would I say to my 5-year-old child? And then what you do is you say, oh, this is what I say to myself now. And you literally say it to yourself now. That is how you get rid of the self-critical part of you and you integrate her. On my journey, I've had people ask me, well, how long do you do this for? Because see, here's the thing. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I was in the military. They really taught you how to be critical. So that way you could drive yourself into the ground. And what I have found is I'm going to do this and be graceful and loving to myself for the rest of my life, because I know this doesn't work. This doesn't work. It doesn't get me what I actually want. So why not be really kind and gentle with yourself and cheer yourself on so you can change your emotional state, which your emotions drive your actions. You cannot change your actions without changing your emotion. So why not do it that way? Why not be your biggest cheerleader? Imagine you're running a marathon. Self-criticism on a marathon will only get you so far. It's like having a friend running with you on the marathon and all they're doing is talking crap. They're talking crap, they're degrading you, right? That would never work. You would never allow somebody to talk to you that way. So we've got to stop letting our inner critic talk to you that way. And if being super nice to your inner critic is not working for you, it might be time to be firm. It might be time to be like, no, girl. You might have to interrupt it with saying, that's not useful. That's not useful right now is a really great pattern interrupt. Girl, that is not useful right now will get you far. If you're still struggling to manage your mind, I want you to go ahead and watch this video right here where I really talk about how to manage your mind. I'll see you in the next video. Hey everybody, here's the 5 everyday somatic tools that I just shared with you. All you need to do is just click the link in the description and I'll send this right to your inbox. Once you open it, it's just a one-pager. Make sure that you click on the very first video, the link that I have in there, because I show you how to do the first tool. It's my absolute favorite tool and I use it several times a day, especially on those days that are extra stressful. So go ahead, click that now. And then also, if you love these videos and you want me to keep them coming, make sure to subscribe and like my channel. Thanks. See you in the next video.